coming back at you with some more Florida A&M Rattlers, and tonight we're going to be following up on our last stream, which was wildly not successful on attempting to recruit. But tonight we're going to get you the regular season, and we've already got our offers out, so we'll probably see some of those commitments filter in as we scroll through this. Keeping an eye out, making sure we're up and live. Hopefully. See what we got. Now we're live. Alright, cool. So we should be going. So, guys, let's get into it. I think it's going to be a good season. We've still got like 3 of our starters from last year, which was an excellent season. And, you know, I think that the players that we brought in, the stars aren't great. But, you know, I've got great expectations for this season. So let's take one quick look at our depth chart. I don't think we've straightened this out yet, and we haven't. Alright, so what we would like to do, I kind of like this. I kind of like this idea of Terrell Wright playing the power forward and letting Knox slide over to center. We can let Johnson or Hughes. Ooh. Hughes has a much better rating, but I don't trust these star ratings. I kind of tend to go with what the AI suggests a lot of times. So they actually like Stewart, Villarreal, Wright, Hughes. They've taken Knox out. Okay, I don't care for that. So I'm going to put Knox right there as that starting center. And what I'm going to do is slide Villarreal over to the small forward and get Griffin in here as a point guard. Let's check Stewart and Griffin and see who was more of a scorer last year. All right, so Stewart was going 20 minutes a game, scoring 11. Griffin was going 28 minutes and only scoring 10. All right, let's let Griffin run the point then. Let's let Griffin run the point. Stewart can be our shooting guard. Villarreal moves over to 3. Terrell Wright at the 4. Khalid Knox at the 5. And we can let Hughes be our first guy in off the bench. We'll definitely want nickel up here. I'll tell you who else we want up here is Fuller. Fuller, if you remember, was the top 100 recruit. So we definitely want him up in the mix. And I kind of expect that nickel will be playing in like the 3-4, and hopefully Fuller will be playing in like the 2-3 area. Dixon is going to be fine if he slides up a touch. And let's let the AI suggest our matrix with this lineup, and let's roll with it and see what happens. It's interesting, they're not really giving Fuller any time. A little bit at the 4. Oh, here's one thing, guys. If if you're doing like letting the AI suggest your matrix and you're hoping these guys slide over and you're not seeing it, take a look at Fuller. Right down here, these are the positions that the computer will consider putting that player at. You can set these positions and you can change them. So what I'm going to do is enable Fuller to be played at 2. Dixon is fine. Nickel's fine. And let's let this go again and see if this doesn't get Fuller a little bit of time at the 2 guard. Yeah. I like that much, but even though he's still only playing 4 minutes. Interesting. Well, we can manually change that. Alright, now we're good. Alright, so guys, I'm really excited to get into the season and see what happens. So I don't know why my chat's being weird on this device. Shake it a little bit. That does nothing. Alright, I'm not getting anything out of that. We're just going to get rolling. I'm going to assume this is working. I'm going to assume this is working. So we're rolling with it. If it's not working, somebody needs to ping me on Discord. know, the chat shows up a couple of different ways on this device, and I don't know why it changes, but we're getting this 2024-2025 season underway, and we're really hoping this is going to be the year we are making that tournament. We're going to make it happen in not only the conference tournament, but we're going to make the NCAA. So first game right off the bat, we're headed on the road to Milwaukee. So this should be exciting. All right, so we got our Rattlers headed into UW Milwaukee Panther Arena. Now, see, there's a school that knows what they're doing. They went straight for Panther Arena. I've been trying to tell our guys we need to change it to the Snake Pit. They don't necessarily go with it, but let's see how it works out. So we're headed on the road right out of the gate, and we take a loss. We take a loss, and that's all right, but Khalid Knox got hurt. Let's hope that that's not anything serious. We actually got a couple of guys hurt. Khalid Knox, strained knee, 8 days, no issue. Sore back, 4 days, no issue. Okay. So we still have absolutely terrible morale on the team, but it doesn't look like we have any terrible injury concerns just yet. This device thing is going to drive me crazy. See if I can reset this real quick and make it work as we simulate a little bit. All right, so here we go. We got the Citadel coming in. We'll see how this works out. Citadel Bulldogs. And there we go, 87-71. Mike Stewart with a great game. Villarreal pours in some points. So definitely what we want to see coming out. 13-6 is pretty good out of a point guard. I really like to see that. So, nice little home opener there for the Rattlers. Now let's push on through. I haven't looked too much at the schedule, so I don't know exactly what's coming up. All right, no games today. Let's move on forward. We got 2 down, about 28-ish to go. See what happens. So headed back on the road to High Point this time. Obviously still out of conference very early in the season. We're actually still in November. So the High Point Panthers. Let's see if we can snake bite them. Segalia, what's up, buddy? All right, so here we go to High Point and take another beating. 18-point loss on the road. Again, not shocking. You know, those road wins are hard to come by. I've been playing a single-player save all day with a Blue Blood program. Agalia might get it. I've been playing with Louisville all day, and we're having the same exact problem on the road in the ACC. It's just brutal. So conference wins on the road are difficult no matter what level you're at. You know, maybe the top 5, top 10 teams in the nation can somewhat consistently win on the road, but outside of that, it's just tough. But now we get another home game against Sam Houston State, so let's see how this one goes. Hey, Agalia, how's your UK team doing? Power forward still hurt? What was it, Perez? All right, here we go. Sam Houston State. And nice home win, 4 points. So Villarreal Griffin and Jason Hughes got 12 off the bench. I believe he's one of our rotational big men. You know, for single-player saves, what I actually started 2 days ago was a save with Oklahoma on the brutal recruiting difficulty. And the brutal difficulty, it can just seem ridiculous at some point because, like, you lose players you should never really lose. but it is a little bit cyclical. Like, you always end up getting the players that you like. Bounty Gate, get out of here, Galia. Just because I told him to kick the back of his knee doesn't mean I put out a bounty, and I didn't pay any money. But anyway, the brutal recruiting difficulty, it can be ridiculous. You usually end up with the players you want. So, like, normal difficulty, you just pick who you want, and that's too easy. The brutal can be kind of crazy, but the thing is, on brutal, like, it really doesn't make a huge difference where you're at. Like, it's going to be tough anywhere. So I just went with Louisville, went with a brutal recruiting difficulty. You can go pretty much anywhere and get a really interesting and difficult challenge if you're running that brutal difficulty. So, Agelia, did you have the Colorado save? I think it was either you or Blazer that had a Colorado save that was just crushing it. Turn that recruiting difficulty up. Willing to bet you get a much different result out of that. Yeah, yes, you had the Colorado. That was on normal though, right? So once you got a decent coach and normal recruiting difficulty, you're really just picking the recruits you want. And I mean, you can game it pretty quick. All right, Rattlers headed on the road to Southern. Southern looks like a decent-ish team, but they have not won at home yet. This will probably be their first home win. No, we denied them. Look at Chris Nickel, the JUCO, going 12-10. Love to see it. Griffin pouring in 16 points. It's awesome. You want to go with 100% 5-out offense. That's awesome. I believe I actually tried that at one point. I had toyed around with a number of different, what do we want to call it? A sort of gimmicky saves. I toyed around with a number of gimmicky saves, like, going all the way 5-out or going all the way, like, full court press the whole time, or just, like, going all the way into something. Ultimately, I didn't stick with any of them long term, and a little bit of it is because, like, the multiplayer league popped up. I started building a new PC. There's a number of different reasons I didn't follow through with it. But I did, like, 100% 5-out is one of the things I had considered doing. So I'd be really interested in to see. What I really wanted to do was show off how good this engine is, because I have seen in this Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2020, the engine is excellent at running what it is that you're trying to run. So I've seen some single-player saves where people are going nonstop, full-court press, high-tempo offense, and, like, the scores just go astronomical. And they're, always top 5 in NCAA in scoring, but also top 5 in, like, points allowed. So it's realistic. There's no real, like, gimme way. There's no guaranteed way to win at all times, but the engine is excellent at recognizing what offenses you're trying to run and then sort of adjusting the outcomes based on that. So if you're going to go 5-out, make sure you're getting some outside shooters, buddy. There we go. Look at that. Back-to-back wins on the road. That one was 24 at Drexel. Mike Stewart carrying the load with 21 points. I told y'all this was going to be another season where we're going to do big things. It started off quietly, and now back-to-back, bang-bang, road wins, making it happen. So that makes me really excited to get into conference. I think we're going to do it this year. We're going to win this conference, and we're going to the NCAAs. Started eating. I hope it was something good. Chris said he was eating instead of tweeting. Worried about the bad scouts at the beginning. You're going to do a 5-out Journeyman save? Usually if I go gimmicky, I just go with like a school and a coach that I can do it right out of the gate. Alright, so we're headed into Incarnate Word. Interesting. Can we make it 3 in a row on the road? No, we got dominated by 18 points. Yikes. That was a bad one, guys. We're going to skip right over that. We're 4-3. This is a decent start to the season. We're moving along. I really just wanted to get into this conference play and see what happens. So we're getting on about a third in. It's about 6 o'clock. Guys, I do have to go tonight no later than 7 o'clock Eastern time. My wife's got to leave, so I've got to take over child rearing duties. So hopefully I can get this in before 7. If it looks like we're not going to make it, I'll try to cut it short at a point that makes sense. But you guys know, as always, I'll try to get you through this whole season. So here we go. UC Riverside coming into the snake pit. And we take care of business by 22. Griffin, Knox, and Hughes. Hughes is doing good things for us. So I was really worried about losing the center that transferred out. But it looks like Hughes is really stepping up in that role for us. Even though we don't have him starting, we do have him just being a rotational big man. So I think that's working out so far. So Agalia's going full 5 out on a Journeyman save. Man, I wish I had good advice for you. You know, as long as, if that's the way you're going to go and that's what you want to do, just make sure that everything from your coach setup to your coach's strategy to your offense to your defense to your rotation, make sure everything is in line with that. You know, recruit stretch 4s and stretch 5s. That's about the only thing I can think of off the top of my head to really help you out with that. But I do think it's a fun way to play. You know, one of the things I tried to do, like a Patino at UK in like the early 90s kind of thing, like a lot of threes and a lot of full court press and that sort of thing. So, you know, if you're going with a gimmicky save, maybe throw some other stuff into it, like a press or like maybe some kind of exotic zone. Because maybe it's just me. I don't know how you guys have seen it in your saves. I don't think that the computer is always ready to attack a zone, at least as much as I try to prepare my team to be ready to attack a zone. So I've definitely seen, like, lost that Marshall, and I think we got an injury. I had a lot of saves with Northern Kentucky, and they're in that Horizon League, I think. And Chicago State just absolutely beat people down with a 1-3-1 zone. So sometimes you throw out a zone that people aren't ready for. Could be another way to go about it. So Mike Stewart and Eric Griffin. Oh, wow. You know, as much as... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. As much as I would prefer to always bring down the hammer in these situations, these are two of our best players. So we're going to tread very delicately. And we're going to leave it at that. Normally, at that point, I would suspend someone. Alright, so he apologized straight away. Stewart was a bit of a pain. But we're still going to let that go. We just really can't do much to him right now. We need him in the lineup, to be quite honest. Alright, so 5-4. I think this has been an alright out-of-conference schedule. So now we got Army coming in. Was that the Black Knights? So Army coming in. They have not won on the road. We've not lost at home. Let's really hope that there's no streak busters here. Cross our fingers. Let's see what we get. Little 18-point win at home. Chris Nickel, the JUCO, pouring in 15. Khalid Knox, 1 rebound short of the double-double. He went 11 and 9. Man, that's frustrating. I just had in the single player save that I was doing today, I had a great power forward. He was very highly thought of coming out. Stayed all 4 years. Only had 6 double-doubles in his whole career. So I know sometimes like I harp on these double-doubles and that sort of thing, but I mean in college basketball it's not that common. Triple-doubles are absurd. I know like in real life, Louisville's had like 1 player that had a couple of triple-doubles in the last who knows how many seasons. Terrence Williams did it twice in the early like 2010s, I guess. So I mean those sort of things just aren't that common in college. In the NBA, it happens all the time. I know Russell Westbrook does like a triple-double. I think he averages a triple-double basically. But, I mean, he's a unbelievable athlete. The college guys just don't have that. And their games are 8 minutes shorter. So it's no surprise that they tend to have a little bit lower statistics. So here we go. Mississippi Valley, the home of Jerry Rice, coming into Florida A&M. They, again, no wins on the road. We haven't lost at home. No streak busters. No whammies. And 82-69-13. It looks like, was that Jason Hughes? I missed that, so let's double check it. Yeah, look. Oh, Jason Hughes, the center. Nice. He went 14, 5 rebounds. Stewart had 18, Griffin was 16, and Terrell Wright with 12. And actually, Villarreal had our best plus-minus, even though he didn't have an excellent stat line. All right, interesting. I just like to check it out every now and then, see what's going on. All right, so moving on. We're getting towards the end of December, into January. Our conference play is going to be starting very, very soon. Headed on the road to LaSalle. All right, we need some road wins. Let's get one against the Explorers. 7-4, they're 7-3. We can do it. I have faith in Griffin. I have faith in Stewart. Make it happen, boys. Let's go. And Khalid Knox. Never forget Khalid Knox. 22. But look at Knox, 10-15. I told you, never forget about the guy. They might have lost, but 10 points, 15 rebounds. That's a ridiculous game. If you guys are on the GM Games Discord, you ought to check out some of the stat lines I posted last night for my solo saves. They were absurd. I had a power forward, went for 42 points. And then in the follow-up game against that same team, he went for 30 points and 10 rebounds. So some very interesting work coming out of that solo save as well. I generally tend to only stream Florida A&M. And that's just because I'm trying to get this to the point where I get to one of those bigger schools and get to do a little bit of a journeyman thing. What's up, Breeze? Glad you could stop by, buddy. But yeah, I'm trying to bring you the journeyman thing because I think that is interesting. It's better than being at one of the high-level schools where you just get to pick whoever you want. But I definitely have some fun on some solo saves. But we got Alabama State coming in. We're 7-5, trying to stay undefeated at home, and we can't do it. What are they, the Bumblebees? I didn't see what that was. Alabama State took us out. That hurts. That's a bad loss. You don't want to be losing games like that at home. Not in conference, not out of conference, not ever. So, bad loss. We have won some on the road this year, I believe. So, we'll kind of make up for it, but that's no good. So, let's go on, see if we can get into this conference play. 7-6 in the out-of-conference schedule. I mean, you still can't say that's bad. When you're looking at a school that has, 11 prestige, I think? Breeze, you got a single player save going right now? You jumped over on the GM Games Discord, right? Let me move that a little bit so I don't have to break my neck to look. All right, no games today. We're definitely very much into January, though. We should be starting conference games. So we're about to get into the mix of it. Oh, shoot, Breeze. Are you the one that... you're wanting to get the pro basketball, right? And you submitted the recommendations about how to change the draft to add the search bar? Man, you got to get the college basketball game. It's so fun. Yeah, I think Pro Basketball 2021 will be really good. I'm also really excited about both of the 2021 football games. And, guys, if college basketball isn't your thing, I guarantee you I will be streaming some of the draft day sports, both college football and college football and pro football, once those games come out. You know, we'll still mix it up with a little bit of Total Extreme Wrestling, a little bit of WMMA 5. But I really enjoy the college basketball games, so that tends to be my go-to. But again, if you all have any suggestions, requests, anything like that outside of the handful of games that I have been streaming so far, as long as they're within this category, as long as they're within the GM Sports purview or whatever, recommend them. I'll try it out. All right, so here we go. Howard coming in. Howard's been one of the teams that we have tended to be all right against. It looks like they're having a particularly bad season. Hopefully this works out well. Yes, sir. Well, Khalid Knox with another double-double. Mike Stewart came close. 10 points, 8 assists. That's dropping dimes. Dropping dimes. Love to see it. Yeah, the college basketball is a great game out of DDS. And, I go back and forth because the college basketball, it can be frustrating because you kind of get a double whammy as a coach. Like, you have to evaluate the talent, and then you also have to recruit the talent. And, that could go either way. I feel like the pro games are a little bit easier because all you have to do is evaluate, and then you take the best one available when your draft spot comes up. So, I don't know. That is what it is. But at the same time, you get a separate recruiting ability rating on your coach. So, I can see how maybe that's advantageous. I don't know. It's just an interesting thing to think about. I think what it really comes down to is just what sport you identify the most with. And for me, 100% it's always been college basketball. Louisville Cardinal fan from way back. That's what we do. So we're headed into Norfolk State. They're 7-7 on the season, 0-1 in conference, but they are at home. So this is probably at best a 50-50 toss-up. But it's going to be a tough hill to climb. And we didn't quite make it. But again, you see Jason Hughes playing well. So, even though we lost a center to transfer in Cedric Alexander, we've got a little bit of backfill of that position. And that's something I need to think about. We're about halfway through this season. I need to think whether or not bringing Hughes into the mix there. We've got two power forwards playing power forward and center. Should we mix that up at all? Let's take a look at the stats. We're halfway through the season. I think that's statistically significant at this point. So let's see what we got. So Hughes is scoring 8 a game. Khalid Knox only 7. Let's look at our rebounds. Knox is definitely rebounding. So Terrell Wright scoring a little bit more. Oh. but Hughes is getting this performance in less minutes. I think we bench Wright and put Hughes into the starting lineup. So let's just make that switch. Let the computer work out the lineup. No, I don't want him playing shooting guard. All right, let's roll with that for a minute and see what happens. So 8-7, 1-1 in conference. So we got Coppin State coming in. They're 3-0 in conference. We're 1-1. Pretty similar records overall, but we're in the snake pit. 27 points. Look at Villarreal. Khalid Knox getting 10. Love to see it, guys. Love to see it. Absolutely. Yeah, Breeze, you're going to love the pro basketball game. There's definitely a whole lot of G League going on. Let me ask, what's your interest in the G League? You a G League player? I think Breeze has a little bit of a invested interest in the G League. Or maybe he's part of the Big Three. What's the Big Three basketball? Have you seen that? Where like Steven Jackson's in it? And a bunch of the like older pro players. I was asking if you have a vested interest in the G League. Here we go. Florida A&M headed into Delaware State. The Rattlers and the Hornets. Can we get an all-important road win? Absolutely not. The answer is no. Lost by 27. Ouch. So we're 2-2 in conference, 9-8 overall. We can still make out a decent season, though, I think. Senior Citizens League. I tell you what, I pay a lot of good money to watch that Senior Citizens League. You put the right senior citizens in it. Tell me you wouldn't dish out money to go watch MJ and AI. Guarantee it. 100, 150 bucks. I'd pay it right now. I don't care if they're 50, 60, whatever. All right, we're headed into Bethune-Cookman, and this is one of those teams that has definitely been thorn in our side the entire save. They got a better record than we do. It's probably going to be a tough one to pull out. And yeah, 17 points. Stewart still had a great game. Hughes, Fuller, there's our freshman. There's our top 100 player. Fuller coming in with a double-digit scoring effort. So, he should end up being all right. We're having a tough time on the road, but like at this level, it's not completely unexpected. No, Breeze, at least in what I've seen, you can assign players to the developmental league and then bring them back up, and it's just a roster move, just like in like Out of the Park, how you would move somebody to AAA or to the majors. I think. Now, I haven't played with it enough to be definitive on that. Hey, it's going to depend on the schools, Agalia. I would really, really like to jump schools. I'm really, like, if I jump schools, I'll bring my kids down here and we'll do the recruiting at the new school tonight. That's my promise to you, Agalia. But I don't know that it's going to happen. I think, we're kind of middle of the road. I like where the program's at. I like where the roster's at. We're not as good as we could be, but we're moving in the right direction. I just don't think it's this year. Oh yeah, there might be a maximum amount of players you can send down to developmental. Very possible. Maryland Eastern Shore, they look pathetic coming into the snake pit, and they get bitten 23 points. No surprise there. I totally missed who played well in that game. Whoo, looks like Hughes. I think, guys, I don't know, but I think putting Hughes into the starting lineup may have been an interesting decision. Look at my boy going for 24 points, 24 in the plus minus, Knox plus 30, and Stewart plus 32. What a game out of our starters. Guys, that's amazing. Look at this. Terrell Wright, the one player we took out, still played 24 minutes, minus 2. Minus 2. Now, the bad thing is Fuller, our top 100 recruit, minus 12. So, interesting. Interesting. I think it means we made a good move with our starting roster, but it does give me concerns for Fuller moving forward. Yeah, Hughes has been a beast, guys. There's a couple of players, Agalia, Breeze, commenting on Hughes. He's been looking really good. So maybe losing our player, our former center to transfer isn't hurting as much as we thought it could have. Made me think of something. I forgot it straight away. Let's just move forward on this. If you guys have comments, the next Reggie Miller. He's a center. He might be the next. He's definitely not. I don't want to throw Shaq's name out there. Maybe he's the next, like, Hassan Whiteside or something. Maybe he's. Who was the Cincinnati great? Oh, now I'm not going to be able to remember it. Who was the Cincinnati center that broke his leg? Ended up playing power forward for the Nuggets, I think. It's like the mid-90s. Kenya Martin, yep. Oh, he said it as soon as I remembered it and was about to say it. I did see Chris post it first in chat. So I would have been first had I not been consuming things. But yeah, maybe he's the next Kmart. You never know. We'll see what happens. NC Central coming in 10-9, 5-1 in the MEAC. We are 10-9 and 3-3. And we take care of business by 18. And look at Hughes. So Hughes with a double-double again. Turning. Who is Kenya Martin? I do like the Jeopardy aspect of it. But, you got your... obviously, very obviously, I follow basketball. Very obviously, some other people in this chat follow basketball. Who in the world is that other random dude that plays for the Raptors? Like Siopik something or other. Does anybody know this dude's name other than Chris? Because I know he's a Raptors fan. I know that's his boy. Like, I was looking through a top 50 list of NBA players expected to make a difference in the bubble during these playoffs. And I knew every single one of them except for this one random dude that plays for Toronto. And I know he's really good, but I have no idea who he is. Does anybody else other than Chris? Yep, there it is. Shit, I'm the only one that doesn't know him. I'm sorry. Pascal Siakam. Where does he come from? Did he play in college basketball? I'd never heard of the dude. Pascal Siakam. Like, just not on my radar at all. So bizarre. To me, at least. New Mexico State. Hey, I coached New Mexico State a few years on here. Alright, so back to something that I do know. Florida A&M headed into Morgan State. Morgan State has always teased us like this. They always look like trash, and then they always jump up and beat us. So I don't want to make any promises here. Pascal Siakam. I got to remember him. So here we go against the Morgan Bears. They've only won 4 games all season long. Let's keep it that way. Yeah. Jason Hughes with 31. Did you see my boy? He's coming out of nowhere. Look at him. Look at him. He's coming out of nowhere. Oh, let's look at the stats. Season stats. Jason Hughes. I'm going to assume that Chris is talking about Pascal Siakam plays like Scottie Pippen, because Jason Hughes plays like Shaq or something, I guess. I don't even know. Look at him. 11 points a game, 5 rebounds. Let's look at player stats. So 31 is his high in points. He has had a high of 11 rebounds. Only 1 double-double. 4 player of the game. As a freshman, he's been player of the game 4 times. I will take it. Yeah, but to go back on your point, Chris, Scottie Pippen was 100% baller. Davis Bertans. Who does he play for, Brees? I don't think I know him. I'm curious what team he plays for and who he played for in college. Or if he's like a European player. For the Wizards. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this NBA bubble thing to get going. I'm really excited to watch some basketball again. It's been, I think basketball was canceled in the middle of like February or March, and we have had nothing for months. So I'm really, really excited to get some basketball again. Obviously I hope that all the players do it safely. But I was reading articles today about transfers, and I'm just so excited to see some college basketball again, guys. I cannot wait for it. Davis Bertans, drafted by the Pacers in 2007. Never heard of him. But y'all saw my boy. If y'all read that, if anybody's been on ESPN today, there's an article about the 50 most influential players in the NBA bubble. My boy, Montrezl Harrell, the Ville, looks like a leading candidate for the NBA Sixth Man of the Year. Donovan Mitchell was also prominently on the list, so y'all might want to check that out. The Ville's doing big things in the NBA. Now, I don't want to mention the fact that every other player on the list was from Kentucky, but I did notice that. I was disappointed in it. South Carolina State coming in to the snake pit. Let's see what we got for them. It's a snake bite by 11 points. Villarreal Hughes with the double-double, Stewart with 10 and 6, and Villarreal, I think, had 10 and 9 or 12 and 9. So we had 3 guys that had excellent games right there. That was awesome. First take from ESPN is very goated. Is that something about like MJ or LeBron? Oh, Chris, we got that rank. Look at us. We're 6 and 3. We'll finish top 3 in this conference. We got that. And then it's just all about playing on a neutral court. So let's get these games simulated and out of the way. Hey, you know what? I'm starting to rethink it. I think you might be right. I could be headed to bigger and better things this year. But let's revisit this. Is there anything bigger and better than Florida A&M? I think it's questionable. Florida A&M may be where it's at. So let's see. We got Norfolk State coming in, guys. Will they feel the snake bite? Oh, by 2. By 2. And Villarreal dropped 26 on them. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. We're making things happen, guys. 7 and 3 in conference, 14 and 9 overall. Another good season for Florida A&M. I mean, this looks like a fairly average season, but I already told you I've been playing single player saves all day with Louisville. I've been playing 500 seasons all day. I just finished a season where I was like 17 and 15, 8 and 12 in conference, I think. This is good. This is good. This is working. We're not in the ACC, but still, this is good. So we want to make this work for us. Yeah, every year that you're in a mid-major is a big year for the conference tournament, but this year especially when we think we can make some noise. So let's see. What would be great to see is if we could go into a couple of these road games and pull out some tough wins. On cue. Villarreal and Wright both go for 20, and we pull out a 6-point win at Coppin State. I love to see that from my Rattlers. So we're, guys, well into February. We're 15 and 9, 8 and 3 in the conference. So we got 11 conference games in. I can't remember if this is a 16 or 18 game schedule. I know the ACC is 20. If any of y'all remember from the prior streams, shout it out in chat. But we ought to have between 5 and 7 games left. We still got 30 minutes, so we're in no danger of my wife leaving and me having to go upstairs. Now we're headed to Howard. This is a game we should win. If we're a good team, if we're a team that's going to win on the road, win on neutral courts in the conference tournament, this is a game we should win. So let's see it happen. Headed into Howard, they're 6 and 17. That was Chris Nickel. Do you see it? That was the JUCO. So what? We won that by 23. That's a good road win. They've only won 6 games on the season, so I understand it's not like a great road win, but 23 points on the road anytime is good, so we'll definitely take that. Let's clear out the inbox real quick. Chris, I know you're doing the Texas State, whatever it is. Have you ever had any guys on the Norton list? out of that smaller school. I don't know if I've ever had anybody on that list. February 17th. We're getting close to the madness. How many of the guys in this one are top 5 camp or camp MVP? Oh, I would say 0. None of these guys are top 5 in their camp or MVP. No, on this roster, the guys that I've been saying are going to be impact players that are going to be like program changers, they're just top 25. But I mean, when you think about it, you're talking about a guy that's top 25 at a camp, so he's probably top 150, top 200 in the nation. But he's going to a school that has 11 prestige in a conference that's awful. So absolutely not a single one of these guys are top 5 camp or camp MVPs. The answer is 0 to that question. All right, guys, into North Carolina. A&T, they're 6-18 overall, so this is definitely a bad team. Yeah, Florida's competitive. None of them are that highly rated, though. I know I've had at least a couple of them with decent camp ratings. I don't know that any of them have been top 25. I don't remember off the top of my head. You can definitely go back and check the older streams if anybody wants to fact check me. But we're headed into North Carolina AT&T. Not a good team. If we're going to be good this year, there should be a win. 12 points. Villarreal, Mike Stewart, and Jason Hughes. So Jason Hughes, and you know, guys, who we haven't talked about, no top 10s at the camps. At best, top 25s, mostly just decent. But you know who we haven't talked about this entire year, to the best of my recollection? Eric Griffin. And he was a player from like 2 years ago. One last look at stats. What is going on with Eric Griffin? So he's still getting close to 10 points a game. Stewart's obviously beating him out on assists, on rebounds. He's doing a little bit better on turnovers because they both have pretty much the same minutes. Villarreal doing well. Hughes is our leading scorer. We need to get that guy more time. Let's take a look at this. All right, so he's getting 30 minutes a game. He's actually leading us in minutes per game now, so we'll stick with that. How interesting is that we lose a really highly regarded center? Everybody we have coming back plays other positions, and then center ends up being the position where that's where we get so much production from. My wife's asking if I'm still streaming. All right, so we're February 21st. Let's push this and try to get it done before I've got to shut it off tonight. Like I said, if I get moved to a new team tonight, I might sneak down here and give a little bonus episode. I don't know if anybody's interested in seeing it, but I'm definitely interested in sending it out. So where are we at? 17-9 overall, 10-3 in conference. So that's a great conference record. And you know, the only real losses that we're taking are all on the road. I got 15 minutes. So a handful of conference losses on the road. Not shocking, I don't suppose. But I'd really like to see what we can do on a neutral court and whether or not we can make the big dance. So we got the Delaware State Hornets. Hornets? Is that what we decided they are? Delaware State coming back in again. There are the Hornets. Give them a little 10 points. Knox almost pulled the double-double, and Hughes again with 20. So I have no idea where Griffin has gone. I don't know. He was our leading scorer 2 years ago, and it seems like the more we teach him and train him, the less he does. I don't know, but like, we're winning games, so I don't suppose I can complain about it all that much. So we're 18-9 at Florida A&M. I feel like that's good. Maybe that's just me. But let's see. It's coming down. We're 14 games into the conference. And what college basketball always really, really comes down to is March. So let's see what happens in March. I got 15 minutes. I can easily get to March. All right, here we go. Bethune-Cookman. And so this is a pretty good team. They're 10-4 in conference. They've got a similar record to us, but this is in the snake pit. So I think we got them. Wildcats. I hate Wildcats. I really do. So you saw there, Mike Stewart got the double-double. Bethune-Cookman, they always kind of make me angry. I don't know who Florida A&M's official rivals are, but as far as Cards is concerned, Bethune-Cookman is definitely our official rival. And they just ruin season after season, to be quite honest. So we're just going to ignore that. I'm going to let that completely go. And we're going to see what else happens. Start calling some players to vent. We still got our we still have our offers outstanding. So we're going to have to make some visits next week. Next week we need to go back and make visits. Right now, we've got a game where we're headed to Maryland Eastern Shore, and they're a pretty bad team. So, fingers crossed, this should be a road win. And we pull it out by 6. And again, it's Hughes. So, he's just been an absolute wonderful find. Great recruit to have. We're going to be moving into conference play. Sorry, not conference play. Conference tournament play. But let's check out real quick the recruiting, because we got no players earlier. We still have this outstanding offer and this one. We have no budget left, so we cannot bring them in. All right, so there's really nothing we can do. Even when it hits the contact period, we can't do anything. We're just going to keep on keeping on. Players declaring for the draft. Nobody. No shock there. All right, so here we go. We got Morgan State. Is this? Yeah. You can see here with the logo here in the upper right-hand corner. These are conference tournament games. So it's time. If you're a Rattler, cross those fingers, cross those toes. Let's get the Rattlers going. You gotta beat Morgan State. You have to. We're headed into the Alfred Lawson Jr. Multi-Purpose Center. Many people have requested that I rename that the Snake Pit, and in our hearts we know it's the Snake Pit, but I think the Alfred Lawson Jr. Multi-Purpose Center serves a purpose. So we're going to leave that in the official database. Yeah, Chris said the conference tournament's big, and he's 100% right. This is big. Obviously, if we win it, we're going to the NCAA tournament. If Morgan State beats us, we could be in a CBI or CIT. Last season was historic for this team. this season is a good season, but it's not historic. So if we want to make something happen in this postseason, we need to do it in this conference tournament, first of all. So, everybody, let's get it going. Beat Morgan State. Boom! 16 points. Jason Hughes, my boy, showing up with 20. Here we go again. Bethune-Cookman. You know what? They have been our downfall too many times. Time to give them a little bit of payback. Let's get it. Let's get it, Rattlers. We're letting this go through. 65, 70, 75. Simulation is done. Here we come. Get out of here, Bethune-Cookman. We have no use for you. We will take on Norfolk State in the final. Get out of our snake pit. Go. Hughes, show them the way out. God. They got us by 6, guys. I tried to talk it up as much as I could. You know, I went in pregame as the coach. Tried to get them fired up. And Bethune-Cookman, they are definitely our... shoot. What's it called in Gone in 60 Seconds? The Mustang. It's not Melissa. It's like... what is it? No, we're not going to get a play into the NCAA. What's the Gone in 60 Seconds car? I can't think of it. That's what Bethune-Cookman is. I hate them. Eleanor. It's our Eleanor. All right, but 20-11, 12-4 in conference. I feel pretty good about an NIT. I feel pretty good about an NIT bid here. Woo! UC just got whooped by Southern Methodist. Y'all see that? It was like 79-62 or something. All right, here we go. Selection show. I sincerely doubt that we're getting picked here, but we'll check it out. We'll just see what happens. Because as always, we'll kind of take a look at our tournament, and then we'll see what happens in the overall NCAA tournament. So let's watch. Yale and Liberty. Yeah. Arkansas with a 1. Virginia. Look at Northern Kentucky with a 12 seed. Louisville with a 2. UC with a 4. Utah State with a 2 seed. That's interesting. UAB with a 5. Also interesting. I think UAB's the one that shut down their football program not that long ago. Kansas State with a 1. Wow. Dayton with a 4. What is going on? Man, I'd have loved to have been in this tournament. San Francisco and Richmond in an 8-9 game. I would have loved to have been in this tournament. All right, we're definitely not in the NCAA. Let's see what we did pull. Hopefully. Oh, we didn't. We got shut out. Guys, we got nothing. We got nothing. We're not in the NIT. We're not in the CBI. We're not in the CIT. We got nothing. Blazer. Terrible time to join, dude. Things are going terrible. We got nothing. We just got shut out of the postseason. We went 20-11, 12-4 overall. And we are sitting at home. Right? Did I miss something? I didn't miss anything. We're just sitting at home. We got nothing. We got absolutely nothing. 20-11, 12-4, and we couldn't even go to the fourth best tournament. That's really frustrating. Really, really frustrating. I mean, I'm with you guys that it's probably time to move somewhere else. God. I'm just angry because I thought we had a good team. And 20 wins is good. 12 conference wins. 12-4 in conference. That's good. And I understand if I'm not going to the NCAA. I even understand if I'm not going to the NIT. But I can't go to the CBI or the CIT or any of that. I don't know, Blaze. I'm frustrated. I got 0 recruits coming in. Agalia's on top of it. I got no recruits coming in. I got no budget, so I can't even go visit anybody. Guys, I'm sorry. I feel like I let y'all down on this episode. I thought this would be a climbing the mountain kind of thing. Last year we won like 24, 25 games. We did make the NIT. And this is just kind of heartbreaking. It's really tough. I've played a lot of seasons on Draft Day Sports College Basketball, whether it's 2020 or one of the older versions, and having the big hollow feeling in your chest after a season is not any good at all. We're going to fight through it, though. Man, how frustrating. I hope I've got really good offers this year, but I have to imagine there will be absolutely nothing out there. All right, so here we are, Saturday, April 1st, and obviously my despondency over our terrible finish screwed me up from showing you guys what happened in the actual NCAA tournament. So let's go back and take a look at it. Here in the Raleigh region, Arkansas, Syracuse, 1-4, no surprise. Georgetown upset Virginia, went 10-3 against Villanova, but Villanova prevailed and then went on to the Final Four. Over in Indy, Oklahoma, Cincinnati went to the Elite Eight, and Cincinnati pulled it out to get out there and face Arizona, who defeated my Louisville Cardinals in the Elite Eight. Actually in the Sweet 16. And Cincinnati goes on to the Final Four. So, Dallas. Xavier beat North Carolina. What a game. Wow. And then they go on to beat West Virginia, and they fall to San Diego State, who moves on to the Final Four. San Diego State upsetting Utah in the slight 3-2 upset there in the Elite Eight. And over in San Jose, Kansas State, the number 1, falls to Gonzaga. UCLA gets beat by VCU, and then VCU takes out Gonzaga. So we go to the Final Four. We got the Wildcats versus the Bearcats. We got the Aztec Warriors versus the Rams. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Let me check out the chat real quick. I know, right? That's crazy. Utah State with a 2. But anyway, like, all our 1s and 2s are gone. This is the first time in a long, long time I've seen a NCAA tournament with all the 1s and 2s gone. At least in this game, it's usually all 1s and 2s. Now we got 3 3s and 1 4. So let's see what we get going here. Saturday, April 1st, the day of the Final Fours. I'm not going to lie, outside of the Thursday and Friday of the first rounds, this is probably one of my favorite days of the entire college basketball season. San Diego State beat VCU. I don't know what the other game was, but we'll know in just a second. So the San Diego Aztecs are headed to the NCAA championship to play against the Villanova Wildcats. Wow, Villanova ran UC out of the gym. Blaze, if the Pac-12 was being represented accurately, wouldn't they all be at home? I'm just messing with you, man. And Villanova dominated San Diego State in the championship game. 23 points. 23 points, and the Villanova Wildcats take home the national championship. So let's move on. We can get the awards. We can see what happened nationally. Need to be quick because we're getting real close to 7 o'clock now. Nothing too interesting there. Bunch of Kentucky nonsense. Can't stand them. Alex Bass, little Louisville Cardinal, first team All-American. L1C4. Yeah, I would love for the coach salary to make a difference. What I would love is for the coach salary to have a direct impact on the coach's skills. All right, second team All-American. Still nothing crazy. Let's go check out, what league are we in, guys? MEAC, right? All right, look at Jason Hughes coming out of nowhere. He's a second team all-conference player. Jason Hughes is not somebody that was on my radar, guys. Like, I've been very flat out with y'all at who I thought would come in and make an impact and who I didn't. And Jason Hughes is a surprise. And look at Villarreal. Oh. Defensive Player of the Year. I love to see it. I love to see it. That might be the first time I've ever had a Defensive Player of the Year. George Villarreal. Yes, sir. And he's a junior. He'll be back. He'll be back. All right. So we got a Defensive Player of the Year, and he's not first or second team. Wow, that's nonsense. Defensive Player of the Year should at least be second team, right? And now the moment of truth. Let us find out. Shall we be moving on? Or will we continue with the Rattlers? Let's also see if we got any kind of... Oh, Nibbert retired! Shoot. Let's see what we got, guys. All right, head coach only jobs. Oh. I don't know. What do y'all think? Is there anything worth taking there? Is there anything worth taking there? Go with it. Tulane looks good. UMass looks good. Like, I like the UMass conference. Tulane with the facilities and academics. I mean, none of these schools are what I was looking for. Like, one of those low-level Power 5 schools. None of these schools are that. I don't know. Let's think. I want to let this... We got a handful of people in chat tonight. I want to talk this through. Because I'm honestly not certain. Oh. Excuse me, one moment. Headed up?
Yeah.
All right.
They're crazy, so you're gonna
I'll be up shortly.
Are you okay?
Yep, I gotta go up shortly, guys.
Teddy and Jack have had nighttime candy.
All right. So Tulane is really probably the only one I would really consider. I kind of like Tulane just because, I don't know if you guys know this, a little bit of random trivia. Tulane has actually won the SEC football conference more recently than the University of Kentucky. So, fun fact for Agalia. Alright, so it looks like we've got a decent amount of feedback for Tulane. And I'm really tempted to make that jump. Can we take a look at our American Athletic Conference? Let's go take a look at Tulane real quick. We don't have to make a decision. This is not the level of school that I wanted to jump to. But if it makes sense, we can do it. This is nonsense because we don't have any scouting reports on them. All right, so conference prestige is 71. Team prestige is 30. Their starting budget is $175,000. They've got B facilities and B plus academics. This is kind of intriguing to me, guys. This is kind of intriguing to me. I think an American Athletic Conference team would be really cool. I really, really wish that my children weren't running around in circles and my wife demanding I come upstairs right now, because I feel like this is a critical point. Delvin Fieldhouse. Oh, yeah. Devlin Fieldhouse. Thank you. 960 SAT. All right, I like the feedback that's coming in. All right, so 3071 B and B plus. 3071 B and B plus. All right, so we're talking about 20 more in team prestige, 60 more conference prestige. B as opposed to a C minus, and a B plus as opposed to C minus. All right, Chris says they've never been to a Sweet 16. Let's see. Let's go back and take a look. Now, here at Florida A&M, we've had 3 appearances. None of those are ours. One NIT appearance that was ours. But he says Tulane's never had a Sweet 16. Let's go take a look at that real quick. If that's true, that might convince me. Tulane. In the American, and I really like this. I really like this conference because, I mean, obviously, like, this is the conference that Louisville would still be in if Maryland hadn't joined the Big Ten. You know, this was Louisville's conference for years, with Cincinnati, with Houston, with Memphis State. I don't care what they're called now. They'll always be Memphis State to me. You know, these were all, this was Conference USA. A handful of these teams were Metro Conference. So this is kind of home. And look, Florida A&M is relatively limited. We all understand that. Tulane may not be excellent, but it's different. And I think it's something for the stream. I think it'll be interesting. I don't think that there's a... If you guys can go find me another streamer who's playing as the Tulane Green Wave, I'll back off. But you know what? We're going for it. I love this. Let's go to Tulane. We're going to apply to that job. They're very happy to welcome me in. Yes, they obviously are. Tribe Hughes to come with me. I like the way you think, Tribe. I truly do. Let's take a look at our staff real quick. Yeah, Nimbert's gone. Alright, so, I mean, we're moving along in the right direction. Not terrible. Roy Odom? Recruiting's at 52. Yeah, it's official. Agalia still won't give me trash. Guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call it a night right after that big move. Let's call it a night. I've got to go up and figure out what in the world is going on with my kids and my family. It sounds like they're murdering each other upstairs, quite possibly. So I told you if I move schools, I would try to get in that first recruiting season tonight. I'll see what I can do. Let me go up, track them down. It is about 7 o'clock Eastern time. I'll see if I can't come back at like 8 or 8:30 or sooner. We'll see how it goes. What's the new roster look like? That's easy to say right off the bat. Terrible. The new roster looks terrible. No, I don't think those are honest to God scouting evaluations. I think that's what I had when I was at the last school. And so it would actually take like some practices and games and that sort of thing for my coaches to give me good evaluations on them at this school. So I'm going to completely disregard that. So we're going to cut it off right here. But if I can, guys, I'm going to try to get back to this as soon as possible because I'm very excited to start off somewhere new. I hope that you guys are just as excited to watch me start off somewhere new. I've really enjoyed the commentary, the advice, all that good stuff. But, we're going to call it a stream for now. And hopefully you guys are following and all that good stuff. So if we go live again tonight, you'll catch it. Otherwise, we'll go live again soon in the next handful of days and get you this content and see exactly what we can do with Tulane. My guess is it's going to be ridiculous. We're going to take over. Y'all saw what I did with Florida A&M. You saw, I know Agalia is like, oh, I didn't really believe you're going to turn it around. Like, yeah, I was going to turn it around. Tulane's got 3 times as much team prestige, 7 times as much conference prestige, the budget, everything else, like, over. Absolutely over. Thank you all for stopping by. Thank you all for your comments. Thank you for your participation. And I'll get this back up and going as soon as possible. Make sure you're following so you know when it's up. And I'll see y'all next time.